What's up, M Squad? It's a girl Emily and I'm back with another lit video. And in today's video, I am going to be doing a talk on how I felt when I found out my mom passed, and the process. Because the last video I did with my mom was when I was in the hospital, and the last update I gave y'all was they said that she's in critical condition because she wasn't responding, and most likely it's a new stroke that she got. So let me get into this video. So I've done this video like 3 to 4 times already, and all times I broke down because it still hurts and it's still unbelievable. A fish van passing all here. They want to take film. And excuse my voice, I've been crying a lot, so that's why my voice sounds like this. Yeah. Right. So let me start back from Sunday. So Sunday when I went into the hospital, I didn't get to see my mom when I went around lunchtime.
Mommy.
Yes.
Right.
Right. So when I went to see her in the morning, they said they wasn't allowing any relatives to come in at this time to see anyone because they was doing like a cleanup for the wards or whatever. So they say come back later in the evening. When I reached there around 5, I went upstairs. When I looked at the time, it was 5 minutes past 5. And they still wasn't allowing anyone to go in. So the clerk was going on a little bit, and she was arguing and sending everyone else for that. All I was basically asking, I said, all I want to know if my mom is upstairs or if she's downstairs warded, because when they called me last night, they said most likely they would ward her. So that's why I really wanted to know if she's upstairs or if she's warded, because time was running out, visiting hours was almost over, and I really wanted to see my mom. So the clerk still was arguing and going back and forth. But anyways, eventually she went inside and she looked for me and she came outside and she said, come, because I saw your mom's condition and I don't want anything to happen to her and you didn't get to see her. So I was like, alright, I really appreciate it. I went inside, and when I saw my mom, it broke my heart. I try my best not to cry in this video because I just want to put like a clean video out there. I don't want to be emotional. I don't want anybody to say that I'm weak, even though I lost my mom. This is just not me. I don't want. Anyways, so when I walked in there and I saw my mom, my heart shattered. I didn't know what to do or think, so I began crying. I broke down and I don't know. It was just a tough moment for my heart and mind to accept. So then eventually I came to terms and I put myself together. I went into the room where she was at and I cleaned up. I took out the wipes, the pampers. I had buy her 3 new nighties that day, and I still have I had buy her a purple set, and I used one from the purple set and I put that on her. I still have the other one inside. I'm keeping it because that was the last color I saw her in. Anyway, so when I cleaned her up now, I gave her a kiss and I said I love you, and I prayed with her, but while I was there talking to her, she was giving me like the eye signals as if everything was okay. So it made me feel a little bit better. When I was finished and I left, when I looked back, she looked as if she was sleeping. So I was like, well, okay, maybe she's resting. So that I went to the nurse's station and I said, what's going on with my mom. But I didn't say what's going on with my mom. I said what's going on with, and I gave them honey. And they said that I need to speak with a doctor, but unfortunately her doctor wasn't there. So I spoke with one of the doctors that was on the floor at the time, and she said that she could just read what's on the report for me. She really can't give me like inside details on what is going on, like medication and so on. So when she read, she said, your mother, because I told her that's my mom, and she asked, what am I to the patient? She said, your mother she had gotten a big stroke, and the stroke was so big that it affected her whole body, and she's basically in a diabetic coma. She didn't use the words diabetic coma, but the medical terms that she was using referred to a diabetic coma. So when I heard that news, I dropped down to the floor and I started crying. The nurses was holding me up and telling me, don't worry, everything will be okay. I cried. After a couple minutes, I put myself together and I left. Before I leave, I told the clerk thanks. I really appreciate that she allowed me to go in to see my mom and whatever. And then I went into the car and Kester asked, so what's going on? And I started crying again because I really couldn't believe that I just heard what the doctor said. The doctor, what the doctor also told me is that things going downhill very quickly. She said, no, yes, things going downhill very quickly and they're doing the best they can. So when she told me that, that's when I broke down and I fell to the ground. I cannot leave out some kind of details because it's just so much and I try not to cry and I'm talking really fast because I just try not to be emotional in this video. So yeah, when Gaston asked, that's what I said, and then I told him, well then I didn't say anything, I was crying, and then I told him what went on, and we both started crying, and then I said, well, let's just go home, maybe I should just tell everyone the news. But please know at that time I wasn't talking to any one of my aunts. Only one of my aunts I was speaking to at the time. I don't know if she had told them anything, but I didn't tell them anything because honestly, I was holding a grudge against them for something that wasn't even intended. Let me just say that. And I felt hurt. And, I wasn't talking to them. I wouldn't message them on a regular. I wouldn't talk to them at all. And I wasn't talking to them at the time. So when I came home, I was going to tell my siblings because they were the ones that I believe should have known before anybody else. So, well, when I was coming home, I called one of my aunts and I told her what was going on. And I called my godmother actually. She called me and I told her what was going on. She said, well, she will go down to see her or whatever. Give me a minute, please. So, when I came home to go tell my siblings, when I came inside, and everybody was chilling, everybody was relaxing, so I still didn't tell them. I told Castor, well, if they ask, you will tell them because I don't want to be the one telling them I'm a breakdown. So I didn't tell them anything until after 9 in the night. My younger brother after me, he asked, he said, so what's going on with mom? And Castor began telling them, well, what's going on. I was hearing what they were saying, but I was in my room. And then Castor came. Castor said, well, better Emily explain it because I really can't give all the details. So then hold on. Yeah, so I was saying, right, when I went inside the room, my neighbor just called me. When I went inside the room and I was explaining to them, I saw my older brother. He turned his back and he stopped talking. He just started to stay in space. And my brother after me walked outside. He walked outside and he zoned out. And everybody else was just doing their own thing. And I kept saying in my head, maybe I should have never told them. But then if I had kept it from them, they would have been angry at me today. So then I called my dad. Minutes at 10, I believe, was when I called him. Well, excuse me, because I called my dad minutes at 10 and I asked where he was. He said he's coming home now. I said, well, I want to talk to him when he come home. He said say, alright. So when he came home, I kind of jerry around a bit till like after 11. Because he came home 20 minutes past 10. I kind of jerry around just to try not to tell him. When I told him, I saw that he took off the TV. Excuse me. He took off the TV and he just started staring at his phone. I couldn't imagine the hurt that he was feeling. And he stayed that I saw my mom when it was. Anyways, whew. So after that, no, I just told him that things gonna get better. He tell me not to worry, he say everything will be okay. Because in the family, I'm the warrior. I is the one that worries about everything. So he said, don't stress, no worry about it. That everything will be okay. And I started to feel tired, so I feel like I want to move from here. So then we went to bed. And I prayed and everything. And the next morning when I woke up, I woke up to a phone call. And one of the doctors in Mount Hope called and they asked if this is a relative of Melissa. I did move. I took a break for a while and I came back. So they asked if this is a relative of Melissa. I was like, yes, this is our daughter speaking. They said they need to speak to a relative urgently for one of us to come down to the hospital. But they prefer the husband to come because things going downhill very quickly. So I was like, what do you mean? You're my brain not in the right place right now, so excuse me. So I was like, what do you mean? He was there. I'm really tired, guys. He said, they need to speak with someone urgently. So I was like, is she breathing? They was like, he said, yes, she is. I said, okay, well, one of us will come down now. So same time I called my dad and he said, well, he's just getting off work. So he'll head down there one time. When he was, well, that's what I told him. I told him that he needs to speak with someone urgently. So he said, okay, well, he'll go down there one time. So I called him 10:05. And I asked him, I said, so what's going on? He said, well, I just walking in. So give me some time and come back. So I said, okay. So now I was on the phone with my sister we was talking about all kind of things we was talking. Then when I saw it's 35 minutes back, I said, okay, well, I'm going to call him and see what it is going on and I'll call him back after. When I called him, I said, he said, hello. I said, yeah, Dad, what's going on? I said, yeah, Dad, what's going on? He said, there is a there now. I said, what do you mean? I said, what do you mean? He said, when I come home. So I dropped the phone and I started crying. Then I saw everybody, like the neighbors and a couple of villagers came walking up the road. So in my head I was like, well, all I could do at least wait for my dad to come home to speak with his family before everybody just decided to come by our house. I was really upset about that, but I said nothing because at the time I was hurting so bad that I couldn't even think. That was I didn't know how to explain the feelings. And I tried to call my boyfriend. He didn't pick up the first time, and then I called him back again. And he said, what happened, because he saw me crying. I hung up and I texted him. And I said, she's gone. And then I sent us a broken heart. I don't even want to do this video anymore. This is why the video wasn't even posted, because every time I decide that I want to do it, when I reach this part, I doesn't want to do it anymore. So, anyways, through the whole process, everything was okay. Every night when we would have week, because my mom died last week Monday, which is the 6th of July. I'm not sure what time. And she was buried on Friday, the 10th of July. Every night we would have work and I would just go and I would laugh with everybody. Just for the pain not to hurt me that bad, I would go and I would laugh and I would talk. And every time they leave, I would stay up until at least 2 o'clock in the morning. And then it would hit me. And then all the memories would hit me. And then all the bad times would hit me and all the good times would hit me. And I would just cry. Up to this day I would cry because I don't even know how to navigate certain situations without my mom. I don't even know how to begin life, like new days without her. I don't even know. I don't know. Most days I would just sit down and I would cry when I feel like life is too much. Because she used to be the one, organizing everything. She used to be the one there with me throughout everything. But anyway, so that was that. So well, for my mom's funeral, I didn't even cry that much for the funeral. My mom looked really beautiful though. She looked really, really beautiful. But I didn't cry. I was just trying to be the backbone for my dad. I stayed really strong. I cried and stopped and then cried and stopped, but I didn't overdo the crying. I was supposed to be the one there for everybody else. At least that's what she was teaching me my whole life. I don't even know how to explain life anymore. Sometimes I just think that she's still, I was seeing in my last vlog I was showing in my last vlog, you all saw that I went to the beach. And while going to the beach, we stopped to get a couple items from the store. And I started crying because that would be my mom. She would stop and she would come out and she would organize everything. And then after that, we was passing my mom's up and I just felt as if my heart shattered. Because it's in that place my mom died. So I just felt like a part of me was over there. So I began crying again. I started crying uncontrollably. I don't even know how to cope with this. Every day I just tell myself that it's gonna get better, and I just think to myself that it will get better. But then when I think about how I have to go through life without her and I'm never gonna get to see her again, it breaks my heart. I don't even know how to mother 7 kids because there's my 5 younger siblings and then my own 2 kids. So how am I going to? I don't know, guys. To anybody who lost their mom or someone that was close to them in general, like a mother or a father, as the kids playing in the back, if I say stuff moving like that. If you all lost someone close to you, drop any comments how you all cope with it and how you all went about your everyday lives and how did it get better if it did. Because honestly, I don't even have hope. I don't even think that it will get better. I don't even know what to do. I said I'm gonna tell myself for this video that you're not gonna cry, you're not even gonna show your emotional side, and then there only memories. school again. So my mom died from she had diabetes and she was hypertensive. So that's how she died. And then she had a stroke. What y'all doing? So that's how she died, guys. That's why I wasn't posting. Let me just end this video here. If you guys have any questions, just DM me because I don't want to post this video, but then I want to put that video out there so you'll understand why I wasn't active or why y'all won't be seeing that much videos. I just have a lot going on right now. I just have a lot going on. I have it harder than I used to, but I really miss my mom. You know, sometimes I would go to her bed and I would sit and I would remember how much times I would harass her. But anyways, I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. Please be sure to like, comment and share. If you're new here, subscribe now and join the M Squad. Turn your post notification bell on so you'll be notified every time I post. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Please guys, if you all have any tips for me on how to cope with this, just let me know in the comments below, or you could even DM me. I would really appreciate it. Right now the wound is still fresh. It still hurts. I guess that I know she's in a better place, but sometimes I just wish I had a little more time. And that's the thing, guys. We all think that we have time, but we never know when it's gonna be our last. So if you still have your mom and dad around, I don't have my mom and dad around. Just cherish them and love them. Love them as much as you can. Because you never know when it's gonna be the last time. For those of you all who wondering, my dad died when I was really young. And the dad that I keep telling you all that I have is my stepdad, which is, I really more consider him as a dad because I grew with him from a very tender age, as I probably said in previous videos, but to the new ones who didn't know. But now my mom has passed and I felt, I don't think I can feel anything again after this. So yeah guys, I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.